Well, just when we thought The Flash was doing pretty bad at the box office, it's gotten a lot worse. The Flash had an absolute horrible weekend. So let's break down the report and where this leaves the movie currently, because quite honestly, they probably should have never released it. Well, the latest box office numbers are in, and The Flash's very first and probably last big solo outing is completely tanking. The film itself saw an over 70% drop from its first week, and that first week was not good, putting its current domestic total at less than $90 million. Additionally, the film isn't performing much better overseas. Now, it did pass $210 million over the weekend, but all the returns were far less than expected, and it seems at this point the film will very likely struggle to make the $300 million mark. Now, I have to say, this is pretty bad because the film did get decent reviews, but I do believe a lot of factors have driven this film basically into the ditch, including Ezra Miller's overall personal drama, as well as the fact that the DCU is getting rebooted, leaving many fans wonder why they even would want to see the movie in the first place. This is a terrible sign for the remaining projects for the year for DC. Blue Beetle is not a very well-known character, might have a hard time getting butts in seats, and Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom had a series of test screenings, all of which were called cataclysmic. So DC might actually have its worst year ever. Interestingly enough, if The Flash doesn't cross $300 million, they probably should not have even released it. Apparently, Warner Bros. Discovery spent about $150 million to promote The Flash. And if you know how the box office works, you know the studios take about half of the overall return. This means at this point it would have been more profitable for Warner Bros. Discovery to dump the film onto Max, not release it at all, and just basically take a bath on the whole thing and write it off. I personally do not expect the film to garner another $90 million. Films that are failing wind down really fast, and this is a Morbius level drop. That's pretty sad because the film isn't Morbius bad despite its challenges, but I do think all the factors we just talked about have driven the film into a spot that it has absolutely no path for success. With this movie already on course to become a financial disaster on the same level as 2017's Justice League, we really should be watching pretty closely about what's going on with WB. Last time this happened, there was a huge shakeup, and although I find it very unlikely that James Gunn and Peter Safran could get the boot before they even get their first project out the door, I'm sure there's a lot of tension behind the scenes, and this will create a whole new set of problems for Warner Bros. Should Blue Beetle and Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom almost bomb. The biggest problem that I see is how they're going to raise the money for these upcoming projects. Will WB be able to afford the level of budget that something like Superman Legacy will have? And will investors be willing to pony up the cash needed to make those projects happen? These are all questions that are going to have to be answered very, very soon. And sadly, we're going to be pointing to The Flash as the cause of a lot of drama for many years to come. How all this works out, we're going to have to wait and see.